Hello there and welcome to Winfield's This Week of Rugby League. Well, it all started last Wednesday night, as far as we were concerned, with the fourth quarter final of the National Panasonic Cup between Eastern Suburbs and Western Suburbs. They, in fact, played the very first match of cup football that we ever screened back in 1974. And let me tell you, all their clashes have been highly entertaining, and this was to be no exception. The schoolboys match, the Commonwealth Bank Cup, was a good one between some arch rivals of years gone by, Holy Cross College and St Gregory's College at Campbelltown. And then, of course, the Winfield people, they were at Newcastle on Saturday, lending a hand for the promotion of City Country. And our Sunday match, the NEC big game, was the one between Canterbury, Bankstown and Manly, Warringah. That's what's on the show. Let's go back to where it all started for us, and that was Leichhardt last Wednesday. Worth, Bennett, Leggett, Bell, French, Melrose and Spina, but they look particularly strong in the forwards with Hastings, McGahn, Batiste, Tessman, Simpkins and Brown. They're coached by Arthur Beetson. Western Suburbs, they've had to make a couple of changes. The hooker is Fivey, Grant Fivey, in for Alan Fowler, and Gary McFarlane comes into the second row to replace John Bilberger. They're captained tonight by Lee Crooks. Bruiser Clark in hospital, although I'm told will be allowed out to watch the match. And on the bench tonight, two other Englishmen, Derek Fox and John Henderson. Quite a good crowd on hand here too to see the Roosters and the Magpies do battle, and of course the ultimate right to play in the semi-final against Belmore. So Rod Petherbridge is the first of the black and whites to get a touch and tackled on his own 22. It's Craig Ellis. Schubert. And a penalty for inside the 5 against Eastern Suburbs. Rod Petherbridge taking the line finder, and of course he played with the Tigers for a number of years, so Leichhardt wouldn't present any problems to him. That was very close to being offside. That's Ellis now. Schubert playing against many of his old mates from Eastern Suburbs. This is Crooks. McGahn in the number 9 tonight. Very deep back line. And it's paid dividends. Petherbridge is a try. Oh, goodness gracious me. He seemed to have 2 centres unmarked. And he gave it to another centre who had the wrong coloured jumper on.
If you look at this on the replay, any one of 4 players could have received this pass. 3 of them were from Western Suburbs, and 1 of them was from East, and he came up with the ball.
Well, West have come up with the football. I've got to say that East should have been on the end of the penalty. Brad Tessman was trying to run as a supporter to the ball carrier. He was interfered with, and it was more than just coincidental. The ball had to come back in the direction of Tessman, and he wasn't there, thanks to a Western Suburbs player. It went unchecked, however, as Ian Naden is tackled now. The ball goes to the blind side. And Dillon it is, through McFarlane, quick hands, and this is Paul Sheehan. Can he go all the way? He falls just 1 metre short on tackle number 5. The ball swept away to Clark. He holds it back, he kicks. That might be enough for the doctor. The way, yes! That's just what the doctor ordered. A try to Alan Gielan, and the black and whites have picked up a try, beautifully engineered. by Clark, the halfback. He held it back. There's the Foster's Lager replay. He held back on the kick, and it was enough to suck the Eastern Suburbs 3/4 forward, and then it was left to Geelan to touchdown.
Brett Clark read this very well. He probed firstly by coming across field. There was nothing on, so he put through the grubber kick, and of course the winger Geelan did the rest.
There's another angle of it. He gave his outside backs every opportunity. And Lee Crooks takes the attempted conversion. Easy for Crooks. And 6 points to 0. West leading East after 6 minutes. Here's Gary Prome, who arrived only at 3 o'clock this afternoon from New Zealand. And so the tap is to be taken by 5. I was about to make the point of he's going to have to hurry these taps up. He taps that he seems to take an age to stand up and give the ball. You don't have to stand up. You pass it from the ground. But he's taking that extra couple of tenths of a second. It's putting players off. Clark inside the 22, in and around. Pulled down by Gary Worth. Oh, he's a good player, this kid, Brett Clark. Trevor Cogger's got the ball, but now he's given a penalty to East for not raking the ball back with his foot. Hastings. Spina. Batiste. Went behind McGann. Scooped up.
East is showing a willingness to push the ball, but inside your own court is not the place to try it.
This is Dillon. 20 metres out from the line. Here's a penalty to West. Against the East defenders for not releasing the tackled player. His team leading 6-0 at the moment. Bruiser Clark is watching on our sideline camera. This should bring a smile to his face if he kicks it. In the air, looks okay. He's got it. Good kick by Lee Crooks. And 8 points to 0 in favour of the Magpies. Spina. Ooh, good tackle by the shoe. Ian Schubert. Hastings. Left foot chip taken by Sheehan. Looking at the national superstar points earlier tonight. Brett Clark, if he takes out the man of the match here, would go to the lead. Ray Price currently leads on 5. In front of Des Hasler 4. And then a line of 3-pointers. Sterling, Clark, Shearer and Gilmeister. But Brett Clark could take the outright lead with the man of the match award tonight.
One of the problems East are having in their defence is they're not finishing tackles off. They're getting to the Western Suburbs players, but there's no one coming over the top to stop the ball.
McGann. Now it's Gary Worth. He'll go all the way. Yes! Gary Worth scores for Eastern Suburbs. Well, up until this point in the match, Western Suburbs had been having an absolute picnic. But the big New Zealander McGann got rid of 3 of them, and he stood in the 4th before putting Gary Worth inside the 22, and momentum took him across, not a double movement. And here's McGann again showing some of his brilliance out of dummy half and the ability to absorb tackles.
We were just talking about Eastern Suburbs not finishing tackles off, and then it was Western Suburbs' turn to do the same thing.
Perfect kick. 8 points to 6 now in favour of Western Suburbs as we draw very close to quarter time. Five gone. Melrose. A very high up and under. It's going up and down in the one spot. This is Brown. He's ordered 6 more tackles. I thought that came off Kevin Hastings, who in fact was so far offside he was shaking hands with the West players when the ball was kicked. Now it's gone across to Hastings. This is Dean Bell.
West starting to fall off far too much defence, both in the marker area and out wide. They're making their job very difficult now.
Batiste, 8 metres from the line. Through Spina, or through to him. Back now for McGann. Out the back it goes to the ground, and Tessman has it, but it's a knock on. Spina it was who got the ball back to McGann. He had to hurdle his teammate. Now Spina. Oh, good ball. Melrose. Then back to Gary Worth. Two beautiful passes there. One from Spina, one from Melrose. Spina backing up on Hastings. Wests desperately defending their own line. McGann floats it into an open space. Batiste over the top, taken by Geelan. This is Clark. Let's see how many times they are inclined to ruck it out this time. A penalty to West. East inside the 5. What are you saying? He's seeing double or not seeing correctly?
Well, I think he's having trouble to see. He's got plenty of blood over the guy.
We just had a shot of it as you were speaking. They're giving this touch judge on your side plenty to go on with. Here's McFarlane. That's called a Clayton's kick. Tessman. Spina. Melrose. McGann. The full-back into the line. Worth. Picked up by Naden. Given to Crooks. Quickly away to Sheehan. Melrose has got him. And into touch.
That was good defence by Melrose. He showed Sheehan the sideline. He took the option, Sheehan. He thought he could get around him, but Melrose had too much pace, collared him just over the 22 and pulled him over the sideline.
West coming up with the ball against the feed. A chance to spread it to the right. This is Geelan.
Well, that's a good run by Geelan. He's made 10 metres, a quick play the ball. They need another one of those.
Now it's Dillon.
That's better. Now they've made 20 metres. Ellis and defence.
Ellis to the 10-metre line. They're right in the middle of the ground.
Now they can spread the ball.
Clark. This is Williams holding it back, skipping into a hole, and he gives it to Bennett, the winger from Eastern Suburbs. Williams getting it around the back. Picked up by Bennett for Eastern Suburbs.
West didn't come up with a try from that passage of play, but maybe they learnt something. They used a kick. They got the ball down to East Territory. They then won a scrum. They took a couple of hard hit-ups, spread the ball, and almost came up with a reward.
But there's the siren now sounding, the end of the first half, and Western Suburbs continue to lead, though they'll come out with the breeze in their face in the second half. They're leading by 8 points to 6. Crooks. Sheehan. Clark. Schubert. A good fend, and he got away from Brian Batiste. He's over the 22, and a beautiful tackle by Gary Worth. Clark. Ellis. Knocked down by Clark. Schubert with a fend on Brian Batiste was off and running. He actually got a ricochet off the fend, a push off. Tessman. Strong run by Brad Tessman. This is Batiste. Knocked down by West, 6 more. Played by Spina. Melrose. Brown. Bell. Simpkins. Brown. Hastings. Bell. Held out there by Williams. That's 5 tackles gone for the Roosters. Melrose. That came off the leg of a West player. So Clark, that was a crazy piece of football. Melrose drops the ball to kick it, and Clark comes in and knees the ball before it gets onto Melrose's boot. That was almost like a soccer tackle, wasn't it? Thought for a moment my eyes were playing tricks, but that's exactly what happened. And of course, never could it be classified as a knock-on. Coming off the knees of Brett Clark. Here's Petherbridge. Now Willie Williams. Williams. 5E. That's Sheehan. Sheehan. Picked up by Galen. They're only 2 blades of grass from the line. Oh, the ball has been lofted. Clark shoulders off a would-be. He's almost over the line. That's the turnover. Heavens to Betsy. I thought for a moment that the Magpies were sailing to the semi-finals with all of this. It all started, of course, with the break made out wide by Rod Petherbridge, and then he turned it into Willie Williams. Melrose clearing, ball landing inside the 22, a bad bounce for Petherbridge. Melrose is down injured. Not Melrose, Batiste getting some attention for Easts. Sheehan. Galen. Clark. Crooks. That's McFarlane. Crooks again. Oh, that had a big question mark on it, that pass from Crooks. Referees ruled that it went forward. No question about it. As the scrum packs down, the man with Graham Hughes knows something about this area of the game. Alan Fowler, the West hooker.
Alan, the side certainly put a lot of pressure on themselves by not kicking in that second quarter.
Yeah, I think Steve wanted them to kick a bit earlier than they were kicking, preferably before the 5th tackle. And they were putting a lot of pressure on themselves by waiting until the 5th tackle.
Well, you're becoming somewhat of a national Panasonic specialist. The side obviously wanted to hang in there with all that money.
Oh, for sure, yeah, we need it.
Alan, a question I want to put to you. When are critics going to not call a Western Suburbs victory an upset?
I don't think they ever will. It doesn't seem to matter how well we go. We always seem to be, any win we seem to have seems to be an upset win. I think once we become a bit more consistent, I think we'll lose that tag.
Okay, you're out with an ankle injury. When you'll be back?
Sunday, I hope.
Okay, thanks, Alan. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Here's Dave Brown playing strongly and taking the play to within 15 metres of the line. 5 gone. Here's Hastings to Melrose. He gets the up and under, in and across. Petherbridge, oh yes! He's put the ball down, and McGann has come through to score. Well, I was about to suggest that Petherbridge had learned his trade well. Here's the Foster's Lager replay. He came down, McGann was there, the ball rolled simply under his arms, and the New Zealander can't believe his luck.
You could never doubt Petherbridge's courage, the way he went up for this ball. He appeared to have taken it cleanly, but it was when he impacted the ground, when his back hit the turf, the ball popped through. Hugh McGann was minding his own business and fell on it for the try.
Melrose taking the attempted conversion of a slightly controversial try, which has now been converted. 12 points to 8 in favour of the Roosters. But for my money, McGann was in front of the kicker. A change for East, Graham.
Yes, you call Brian Batiste going down before in back play prior to that try. He has a shoulder problem, and Jim Harvey's going on for Eastern Suburbs in place of him in number 14.
This is Spina. Steve Goshen, the West coach. As Hastings drives this ball deep into Magpies territory. Petherbridge. Schubert. It's Ellis. Clark. Crooks. Brown to play it.
Crooks trying to do too much with the ball. He's got great skills at offloading in the tackle, but you can't do it every time.
Solid tackle on the new boy, Harvey. Tessman. Hastings looking for the drop goal. And it's a goal, I do believe, yes. A further point to Eastern Suburbs. Here's how easy Horry Hastings makes it look. He seemed to have an age to line it up and put it straight over the middle. 13 points to 8 in favour of East. Worth. Again.
And once again, it was in that area of market offence that Western Suburbs were found wanting.
Spina. East's well and truly with West on the ropes now. Hastings. 14 is Gary Prom.
Eastern Suburbs looking as if they can put this one out of doubt.
This is Melrose. West players getting attention all over the place. The half and the hooker both down. Hastings sets up the drop goal and he gets another one. 2 drop goals from 2 attempts for Kevin Hastings. And 14 points to 8 the score. He makes it look very simple. And there's no enthusiasm. Maybe there's no petrol left in the Western Suburbs market defence. West making a change.
Yes, well, the Englishman, Derek Fox, in 15, has found himself on the field for Brett Clark.
That's French. Spina. West the penalty. Lee Crooks. Fox, Williams, Cogger. Oh, good tackle by Simpkins. 10 minutes of the final quarter to go. Williams from dummy half. Naden, his centre partner. Trailing 14 points to 8. The Magpies with their, well, one of their last throws of the dice.
You can't afford to feel comfortable against West when you've got a 6-point lead, purely because the way they play football with this ad-lib type play, they could score a length.
Henderson! Henderson with a big run down the left flank. 5 gone for the Magpies. East getting back onside. Petherbridge kicks over the top. Spina takes it for East. Petherbridge with a little chip. He got a hand to it. This is Hardy. Now it's Melrose. It's a good bounce for Melrose. It's pushed that ball to almost 85, 90 metres. Sheehan pulled down by Bell and Bennett. Naden 11-8 the penalty count to West.
It's more like it from West. Good quick play the balls.
Oh, yes, they've got a chance. Gielan to the halfway. Oh, I think he should have used Henderson. Across to Cogger, now to Williams. Willie Williams. Ball loose. No 6 tackles recount. Schubert over the top to Sheehan. Outside the 22 by just 2 metres. 5 tackles gone, says the ref. As Fox puts up a kick. Oh, Petherbridge has floated the ball out. Gielan can't pick it up. Crooks picks it up. He spins the ball out wide. Picked up by Henderson. 10 metres out, that's a turnover. Heavens above, do you reckon this match hasn't come alive all of a sudden?
Arthur Beetson sitting just next to her here on the camera deck. He has nearly gone over the top of the stand with that break by Western Suburbs.
Harvey. Knocked on, I thought. Gary Prom is pointing to the West player, saying it came off his feet. Donnellan comes out in 14, the hooker, to have a talk to Derek Fox. He's probably introduced himself and said, just put it at the back of my heels, give me a chance. A pommy hooker, fancy telling him how to feed the ball. They all put it in the second row. Legal over there, isn't it? Naden, 17, that's Burns. Schubert. 14 points to 8. Each leading. West need a converted try, and it would be their victory on the penalty count at the moment. Played by Gielan. This is Fox. Now it's Harvey. Melrose. It's going straight down to Henderson. Petherbridge. Gary Worth goes in to clean up.
We can hear Arthur Beetson next to us singing out, we want a field goal.
Tessman. Well, that's got to be a penalty, and it is. Right in front. The breeze at their back. And Melrose now, more than likely, will tie this game up for Eastern Suburbs. And Melrose raises the flags. So Eastern Suburbs leading now by 16 points to 8. And I must admit, I thought East would win quite handsomely tonight, but such hasn't been the case. And now with their English contingent all here, I think it's a fair comment to suggest that West are going to create a hell of a lot of trouble for other clubs in the Winfield Cup as they make their exit from the National Panasonic Cup at the hands of Eastern Suburbs, 16 to 8. Worth and McGahn the tries for East. Melrose kicked 3 goals. Hastings kicked 2 drop goals. And for West, a try by Alan Gielan, and Lee Crooks kicked 2 goals.
St Gregory's Campbelltown in sky blue and maroon stripes, and they're attacking the goal line to the left, and Holy Cross College Ryde in goal jumpers with maroon V's and shoulder saddles. They're guarding the goal line here on our left-hand side of your screen. Ray O'Donnell, Chief of the Referees Appointments Board, handling our statistics, and Dennis Spagarino as our referee handling the match. So both hoping to produce, or reproduce, should I say, their premiership winning form of previous years. Referee Spagarino awarding the penalty to St Gregory's. And Kenneth. And he's swung that one pretty well. It's about 15 metres out from Holy Cross's line, still with their breeze at the back. And just on 12 minutes gone. And score 0-0. Nice reverse play. Kenneth going up a fairly wide blind. Looked after by Stanton. And they're 13 metres out as Finica Fallu wires it around the corner to Hansen. And Hansen only 5 metres out. He did have a marker. He did not play the ball correctly.
He did have it. He picked the ball up in the ruck, and Dennis Spagarino, the referee, was right on the spot.
And a penalty comes to Ryde, which will certainly alleviate the pressure. Fuller going the blind. Up there linking with Smith. And looked after. 10 metres out they are, Gregory's. There's a big run from Clifton. You see how close it is. Only about a metre out. Oh, one. It's a mulberry, this bloke, number 11. Hansen, big tight forward, a lot of enterprise. There's around the corner, and oh, gee whiz, I thought he was going to give that one. Would have been intentionally forward to Kenneth. Kenneth waiting for it, calling for it. They go themselves about a metre out from the Ryde goal line. Back it comes to Kenneth. Kenneth with the little rubber, and looked after by Garrity. So the score 0-0, still after 15 minutes in our third quarter final. Ryde playing St Gregory's College Campbelltown, and it's their goal line dropout from Ryde. Now Green moves into acting half. And his brother David, of course, on the wing for Penrith, and an outstanding centre at St Gregory's a few years ago. Hansen keeps the defence looking out with his big strong runs. Here is Hodgins. Back it comes to Perrin. Perrin himself slipped back. Fuller. Kenneth. And picked up like a sneak thief. Coming, hitting the line. Ryde continue to bring it forward. Now again, fed out this time to Clark. They're 30 metres out from St Gregory's goal line. Thrown out straight away to Brennan. Brennan gets it to Stanton, looking back to infield, picks up Plummer. Plummer gets it to Shepherd up on the line. And he's forced down about 28 metres out. The tackler, Finica Fallu. Back it comes. Harrigan. A bit of sleight of hand stuff, but weren't fooled as Hodgins brought him down, or actually it was Whale. Here goes Rofe. Comes off the side of his boot. Well taken by Smith. Good with a high ball and very solid in defences, this fullback for St Gregory's. And he's put down 15 metres out from his goal line. This fellow is Kirkman. He's on a run. Oh, he's got the legs. Oh, glorious tackle there. Coming across Mr. Cover defence in young Chris Brennan. That
was a classic cover defensive tackle. I thought that the player, the number 4, Kirkman, had made the bust. And the cover defence wouldn't get to him, but Stanton timed his run particularly well. He got to him, hit him around the knees and pulled him down in a copybook cover defensive tackle. The number of games at professional football and schoolboy football where points are scored as teams get tired just before the half-time bell sounds.
Very true too, Bill, as they're 30 metres out, and Thomas feeding big run here from Clark, is it again, going up to the quarter. So they found left and right, V-shape, and Thomas. Real double stuff here from Stanton coming through on the burst with backup from Rofe on the right, but well tackled by Green. They're 10 metres out on the last one coming up on Ryde. Here goes running for a Stanton, long ball out to Shepherd. Shepherd can't, yes he does, Garrity. Long ball over here to Doyle, hasn't the pace, and good cover from Gregory's. Now Hodgins gives it out to Fuller. Finica Fanu and finds an opening, looks for backup, gets it in Fuller. Well tidied up though, and Thomas again in there to look after proceedings, along with Plummer having a good game. Finica Fallu setting it off, but well picked off. by Harrigan and Rolfe. Hanson at acting half, and Gregory's again will try to do something. Here is Kirkman aiming for the line. It's a good slug downfield, picked up here by Davis. Davis passed one, but that was bad luck. Not good play, really, by Davis. So Kenneth jabbing the line, and this could be difficult for Ryde. There's about a minute and a quarter left, and they realise it. Hodgins.
Very difficult 70 seconds.
Planned move, crisscross, a lot of balking, decoys. Now Finucane hit hard, and now they're racing back into their positions. Holy Cross Ryde to put on another excellent tackling effort, which they've done in this first half. Kenneth, they've got numbers up here. Here goes Green, looked after by Doyle, picked off here by Smith. Smith is tabbed, though, jammed around about 5 metres out from the goal line. Now St Gregory's fanned right out, and Holy Cross ready to jump up and sprint up. Here is Perrin, gets it back to Green. Green doing his darndest, gets it to Fuller. Fuller can't unload. Well trapped. Now Ryde backing up. They come the left side. There's no way through there. Kenneth will try, but they're bringing down about a metre out, and they've still got... there it is, the half-time hooter. Boy, oh boy. Certainly both sides prominent in the first half. Their attack moving well. Their defence was outstanding, creating a few problems and some worrying times for each other when in possession. As Kenneth puts the high ball down, and well taken by Rolfe, and he'll bring it up about 12 metres short of his own side of halfway. And another $3,000 worth of equipment from National Panasonic going to the runner-up. National Panasonic, great supporters of all rugby league, the youth of Australia in general, a quality product and looking after a quality code in rugby league. National Panasonic and rugby league in concert. There's no doubt about that as a duo. Oh, picked up here, Kenneth. I don't know whether he's got the pace. He has. Rolfe coming after him. Oh, yes! From a simple mistake, lovely run of the ball, and then a bombed ball, and then he picked it up and made it possible. Greg score first up in the first couple of minutes, and they lead 4-0.
After some tremendous defence by Holy Cross in the first half, it's unfortunate that a try had to come this way, because it wasn't their defence that was breached. It was purely a bad pass. Kenneth's a very alert footballer. He scooped the ball up, had some defence to beat. The cover defence had come across, but he just had too much pace for them.
Well, here's the ball from Brennan going out to Shepherd, and it goes past him as well, you saw. Then Kenneth really cracked on the speed. It really sustained speed. So here he is trying to convert his own try, and up she goes. Hits the right upright, but it's, one flag up. Yes, referee Spagarino says goal conversion. So it's 6 points to 0. I'm just getting some information here from John Clark is off and Wayne Harrigan is off. Thanks very much indeed, Ray O'Donnell. As Ryde come up in possession through Robinson. And Thomas gets it here to the new player on, who is Todd Wagner. Big snowy-haired prop forward. And Thomas again. And I was just saying to Billy at half-time, when he's on a curve, this Thomas, he has a little gait like Benny Elias. This is the young hooker for Ryde, as Bakara comes flat and fast. Picked up by Shepherd. And they're well and truly in there to hound him, both Neelan and Clifton. 30 metres out, and Thomas hands a nice ball to Plummer. Plummer, it's anyone's, and Gregory's are up with it through Finucane. Some very messy ball from Ryde that time. Now Fuller to Kenneth. Kenneth with a palm off on McAndrew. And now here goes McManus, and he's got some toe. The big winger, a glorious cover again. I'll pick him out for you in just a tick. I couldn't. I think it could have been McAndrew. Was it McAndrew who came across and flashed across and picked him up? Whoever it was just masterly defence. Forward. And here's Kenneth. Slips a nice ball to Clifton. Clifton met by Davis. Kenneth again. Kenneth running beautifully, trying to link up. And takes the tackle of Brennan on halfway. As Hodgins gets it to Fuller. And Fuller trapped with the tackle there by Stanton. And truly passing him up as Finucane gets it back here to Whale. Whale through, gives a nice ball to Fuller. Backing up Hodgins, Finucane. Hodgins himself! Oh, trapped down beautifully by Stephen Davis again in cover. Great stuff here from Gregory's.
Yeah, that was a great break by St Greg's. They're starting to get a surfeit of possession midway through this second half, and when they've got the ball, they're a very difficult team to contain. They back up well, they've got some very powerful ball runners, and they're proving a handful now for the Holy Cross defence.
So Brown will play it, and Stanton will bring it forward for the Maroon and Golds, and offloads nicely to Brennan, and gives a good pass here to Doyle, and Doyle trapped about 8 metres inside Gregory's portion of halfway. Quick pass from Damien Thomas to Brennan. Now Garrity finding a runner in Stanton, a cutout. Picked up beautifully here by Doyle. Nice pass here to McAndrew. McAndrew to the 10-metre line, and he's blocked out beautifully. Mr. Cover defence in Damien Smith. Glorious football, superb attack, and just glorious defence. Again, Ryde on the attack through Thomas. And I thought they were going to cut him short because they had numbers up, 3 up, in fact, on this left side. There's a float out and a cut-out pass. You're not going to believe it. You will, because you've seen it.
He catches that, he scores.
No risk. And he's had a good game tonight too, young Plummer. And equally impressive has been the opposite hooker too, Hodgins, who's cut him up the middle a few times. Here goes Kenneth. Oh, like a little terrier. Like an eel, wasn't it? Just going along the grass. Flattening and then up in the arc, and away they come here with David Green giving a nice ball to Nealon. Nealon lines him up. Here goes Clifton. Clifton for the line. That's a lovely try. A lovely try there from St Gregory's. You'll see it back here on replay. The ball ran freely. He put it away in no more conclusive way, which adds a further 4 points, and that's Gregory's now leading 12 points to 0.
It took 57 minutes before St Greg's got the opportunity to finally open the game up and move it out wide, but they were able to do that. The ball shifted along their back line. They had the overlap. It was then simply a matter of the ball going on to Clifton. He showed plenty of pace. He's a powerful runner, and he was able to go over and cross in the corner.
Let's go, and just a little bit of a droopy ball. So we have a scoreline that remains 12-0 in favour of Gregory's over Ryde in our third quarter final of the Commonwealth Bank Cup. At Finicfikalu, Kenneth, oh, could be trouble here. Good back up here from Stevens. Backing up Finicfikalu. Now he'll straighten. He's got 2 on the left. A lot of sky blue jumpers. Here goes McManus. Back inside, picked up beautifully. Oh, this is Gregory's at their top. They're 15 metres out from the goal line and well stretched out. If they get the ball out well, here goes McManus, and he's floored about 9 metres out from the goal line. Finicfikalu at acting half. Straight away gives it to number 15, who's Rowan O'Brien, and he's piloted to the ground about 1 metre out. This is the last one coming up. Finicfikalu, their skipper, about 1 metre or half a metre short of the goal line, and desperate defence from Holy Cross College Ryde. They've been certainly defiant, and at one time in the first part of this match, they were really on the canvas under sustained pressure from Gregory's for a long, long time, but their defence was absolutely superb. So you must admire their tremendous courage and their pride, and look out for them next year. They will be a top side. And a top side tonight too. But this Gregory side has been very powerful. And that's it. And I think it sums up the story. A scoreline that reads St Gregory's College Campbelltown defeating Holy Cross College Ryde in our third quarter final. They've just changed the score up there on the scoreboard, but I think it's 12-0, and that's the final scoreline in our third Commonwealth Bank Cup quarter-final.
Well, representative time for 1986, and our first clash is the city versus country in the seconds match. Our highlights come to you from the International Sports Centre in Newcastle, where the city second side takes the field, and they're coached by our own Channel 10 commentator, Bill Anderson.
Steve-O. Yes, this was very good work here. We saw Steve Ellett, beautiful ball onto Selby. Selby's had a good game. You notice that he'll throw a little dummy just to keep the wingman out there, and that was enough to get him over.
Here's the second try scored by Sydney.
This was good play by the forwards in breaking the defence, and then they spun it along the three-quarter line. Lydiard linking in as a good fullback should, and Ferguson just too fast and too strong. Good try.
And here's the third try scored in the first half.
Good step in here. Once again, we saw Ella involved, and the ball comes out here, and you'll see the strength of Farah. Selby just holds the ball up. Beautiful pass. Once again, the dummy and the strength of the Canterbury centre goes in for the third try.
Tried to clear it. Wasn't the best kick from Mitch Luca. Straight up the backside of one of his mates. Taylor. That's better play. Kicked ahead. And Gordon did beautifully there as Ferguson cleaned up. Conlon off Izzard. Back to Ella. A little bit of space here. Alexander sidesteps the referee. Ferguson not quite in position for the pass, but they're still going forward through Gilbert, and Gilbert will score in the corner. And the referee, Barry Priest, has recovered. What about the country boys today, Steve-O?
Well, I was very, very impressed with Elwyn. We know the quality that the 5'8" has. He didn't sort of show it at Manly last season, but really the winger, Rod Whittaker, Marty Gordon, the fullback. But very impressed with the hooker, George Trudgett.
Here's Farah to Izzard. Conlon with him. Conlon around the man. But his pass eventually found Izzard, and Izzard streaming away. Lots of power there. Is he tackled? Yes. He was grabbed by Whittaker, but the try's been scored. Whittaker a fine tackle, but Izzard strongly over the line in the tackle to score the 5th try. Steve Morris. Cochrane a dummy half. Finds Ella. Izzard. Back to Morris, who's in. Steve Morris. The 6th try scored in the match for Sydney. Fine tackle. Greg Ashton again. There goes Ella. Ella's through, and that's a try. The 7th try of the game for Sydney. Right on full time. And it ends up a big score for Sydney in the seconds game here, winning 36-8.
Well, a very impressive win to the City seconds over Country, but it was never going to be that way in the big one, City versus Country in the #1 fixture. Of course, for City, they took the field with a record 7 representatives from the Canterbury Bankstown side, who are the current premiers, I should say. But for Country, the danger man was always going to be little Peter Sterling.
Sydney side led out by their captain Wayne Pearce. Mick Potter at fullback. A lot of speed in the back line. Good linking ability of Terry Lamb. And the pack in the back row. Solid defence there. Interesting to see what their attack's like breaking the line. Tunks and Dunn in good form. Country boys out there. Led today by Peter Sterling. Steve McWhirter, a lot of experience at 5'8". Cleal and Gillespie, who's had a brilliant season. Roach and Brockenshire in the front row. And at the back, Gary Jack, anxious to keep his Australian spot this year, with Ray Spur and Glenn Murray in the centres. They may have their hands full this afternoon. O'Connor kicks off for the Sydney side. Gary Jack to take it up. Lamb's up there quickly. Strong defence from Sydney. Folkes was in over the top. Robert Morris from dummy half going forward. Gillespie.
There'll be no love lost out there, Jim. They're all fired up.
Sterling. Mortimer's kick. Potter. Country up quickly. Chris Mortimer in defence. Eric Grove. And that big man is going to be a handful today for Bert Gordon, but he gets a strong reception early on. Langmack. Simmons a dummy half. Tunks. Now the relieving kick. Lamb fires it down. Bert Gordon. A nervous touch for Gordon, but he held it. Gary Jack. Stepping. Got past Folkes, not O'Connor. Roach. Look at them up there. Sydney up very quickly to nullify the attack. Too quickly. They're inside the 5, and it's the first penalty of the day to Country.
That was a nervous penalty by the City side. There'll be two different tactics from either side. Country, I think, will try to play tight in the forwards, and the City side really have to get the ball out wide. If there's any weakness in that Country side, it's got to be the 3/4.
Morris. Folks has got him. See what Country forwards can do here. Cleal. Simmons had him underneath. Robert Morris goes in. Roach. That's McWhirter. A lot of experience. First played for Country in 1979, Steve McWhirter. Sterling. It's dropped by Spur. That could be one of the weaker links in the side, out in the centres. Simmons. Fine low tackle from the Brockenshire. Tunks. More good hitting from Country. Simmons to Dunn. The ball's been stolen. Dunn was trying to slip it away, and it was stolen by Neil Moy. Jack. Robert Morris to Sterling. The little kick ahead. Potter's back there. And Potter makes sure of it. Knocks it dead in goal. Simmons for the tap. Eric Gray. Tunks. Hasler. Pierce. O'Connor. O'Connor slips them. Good run by O'Connor. Back to Potter, who'll score. The first try of the match. Michael Potter has scored. Quick hands there. A beautiful run by Michael O'Connor. And good thinking by Wayne Pearce. Watch the action.
Certainly was good thinking by Wayne Pearce on this occasion. Puts the ball away. O'Connor really does show his speed here. He kept calm. Nice step. Put the ball inside. Pearce realised he had a man on him. And Potter linking through. Simple try.
Sterling misses him. Chris Mortimer sends it deep. Rowe, slow to get back to it. There he goes, around the defence, but not around his Parramatta teammate Peter Sterling. A special Sterling tackle for him. Pearce. Hetherington. A bit of heat in the tackles.
Groth is down injured. That tackle by Sterling certainly made it its effect. Groth limping.
Tunks. Groth taking a tumble. It looks like he's hurt his knee. Lamb under a bit of defensive pressure. Potter's kick goes out to Murray. Glenn Murray, the little scamperer from Newcastle Western Suburbs, back over halfway. Chris Mortimer lost it. Clumsy stuff. Brian Hetherington, who first played City Country football in 1977, the oldest man on the field, made the fumble, and Eric Groth struggling to recover.
He's in a lot of pain, Jim. This is the tackle. And really launches himself. And he seemed to bounce on his knee.
There's Groth. And it won't be much solace to him. Getting a good round of applause from the crowd. Robert Morris. Roach. Dunn underneath. And Gillespie around the middle. Sterling. Jack. Morrison from the wing to cut it off. Gillespie, a good run. Support for him. It's a try to Gordon. It was touched by Sydney on the way through after Gillespie made the break, popped up the pass. It may have looked as though it was going forward, but I think you'll find it was touched by Sydney. First try to country, and the crowd love it.
Certainly do, and referee Mick Stone right on the spot with this one. Well, this is a guy that everyone says all he can do is tackle. That was a good break, good run. Took the gamble. The ball coming off the City player. Just a step. This is going to be the new star. There's no two ways about that. A great player. And good backing up by the wingman.
Neil Moy from Parks to add the extras and level the scores. He's kicked it, so it's 6-all. 6-all, 16 minutes into the first half. Great comeback by Country. Roach, hungry for the action.
So's the dog.
Chris Mortimer. Potter on the chase. Long kick from Chris Mortimer. It's gained a good 50 metres, but Potter races back to the quarter line. Hasler. Gillespie there, stopped him. Dunn. And he cops one. An arm from Roach. The touch judge saw it, the referee didn't. And he's sped in to give his report. Watch it in here. Dunn and Roach getting involved. Roach letting know Dunn he's about. Brockenshire. Solid Country stuff in the pack. This is where they've got the strength. Sterling switches it. Gary Jack. Gordon, Cleel. They've had 4 tackles. Right on the line here. Morris to Sterling. The bomb this time. They're charging ahead. McWhirter's up there. It's loose. Is it a try? It's a try. McWhirter, I think, scored the try.
Chris Mortimer, I think.
Well, it's Gillespie or Mortimer. We'll see in the replay. There are a number of hands that went for the ball loose in goal. Sterling put up the bomb. Now watch it.
It's a good kick by Sterling on the 4th tackle. It's anybody's here. Kenny. And Chris Mortimer says thank you.
Chris Mortimer's try converted by Moy. So Country 12-6 ahead, 25 minutes into the game. That's done. Back to Hasler, over halfway. Jack made the tackle. Kenny, good ball to O'Connor. There's Morris. Back to O'Connor. Kenny again. And a little one went in again from Roach. The touch judge didn't miss it.
I don't know about a little one, Jim. Look, a pretty big one to me. Probably going for the ball.
Of course. Just the ball, nothing else. And he was effective. He knocked the ball out, but he won't be too effective after this conversation. Be another caution. Second time Roach has been called up for a swinging arm in a tackle. First time it was on Dunn. Peter Sterling cooling it down, and another penalty to Sydney.
The forwards have very short memories. He can't remember doing it.
O'Connor's kick. He's got it just inside the upright. 8 points now for the Sydney side. 12-8. And we're up to about 30 minutes in the first half. Chris Mortimer. It's Potter. Tunks. Folks. Alan Thompson, not smiling yet, but must be pleased with the performance. 12-8 ahead. Lamb charged down by it, and look, it goes to Cleel. Here's a chance. Cleel stepping well, and Cleel will score. Robert Morris charged the kick down, and Cleel was onside. What a try for Country. Look at Steve Roach. You think he won the lottery. A big moment for Country, charging down Terry Lamb's kick, and it was deflected to Cleel. Here it is.
Good play. Very good play indeed. Getting up front there. Cleel just brushes him away. Get out of my way, Potter. That's a good try.
Neil Moy looking for 3 out of 3 and 2 more points. There it is. So Country lead 18-8. 18-8. Lamb away to Hetherington. Kenny. Langmack. Simmons. That's Terry Lamb's kick. Lamb, it missed by Jack, and look at this, O'Connor's going to score. A beautiful kick, got the bounce, and O'Connor finished it off. So City are back in business. O'Connor scores the try. A good little kick ahead, and Gary Jack couldn't clean it up.
This was poor play by the fullback, Gary Jack. It's very rare you see something like this. A good kick by Lamb. You see Jack appear here, and really that was a poor effort from an Australian fullback. O'Connor couldn't believe his luck. And that's the confidence he needs.
18-14 now. Close to half-time. Just 4 points between them. And this should be a fantastic 40 minutes of football in the second half. Don't miss that. To Potter. Morris. Around Spur. Around McWhorter. Good run by Morris. He's beaten the ball. Look out. It's going to be a try, and as Jack cuts him down, he does. Count starts again, though. The ball was loose. Still a chance for Sydney. Potter trying to play it, but a penalty. Professional foul. 10 minutes in the sin bin.
I think he's only given him 5.
It's Neil Moy who's gone off.
It was a great run by Morris. Good support play by Hasler there. And referee McStown had no hesitation here, no alternative.
O'Connor, beautiful kick. His 4th goal. It's 18-16 now. Simmons. Pierce. Simmons. Hasler. Into a bit of a slot. Defence is good. McWhorter that time. That's Lamb inside. Tunks flicks it. Langmack. Folks. Hasler. He was ankle tapped and he's almost there. Last tackle for Sydney. Sterling just stopped him in time. Hasler to play it. Simmons at dummy half. Cleel intercepted. Count starts again as he knocked it on. Folks. It went loose. Lamb cleaning up. Now Pierce. Straight ahead. Hasler. Spur in for the tackle. The Country repelled them 20 metres there. Simmons. Away to Dunn. Support. That's Simmons. Potter, spur tackles again. 18-16 country lead. Tunks drives it up again. Still going strongly. Good ball to Folks, and there's the try to Langmack. Langmack has scored. Well, persistence paid off there, with country having to endure a spate of tackles. The count started again. The pressure kept going, and good backing up has seen a try.
Certainly was. Good play by Tunks. Running onto the ball, not stood still. Bad tackle, bad miss by Cleel. Enthusiasm, beautiful ball out wide. Good play by Folks. And Langmack savouring this moment. Look at the determination. That's what their coach wanted. That's what he told them at half-time. Bit more commitment. And for once, the City side has backed up the man with the ball.
Easy one for O'Connor. Sydney further ahead. They now lead by 22-18. That try put them in the lead. 22-18. It's Gillespie struggling to get past the defence again. Now Roach. McWhorter. Beautiful tackle from O'Connor. Gordon. Roach missed it. Knocks it back. Sterling with a bomb. Potter underneath it. He loses it. Is it a try? Yes. No. No try. This will be interesting. There must have been a little knock-on right at the critical moment, because Potter was knocked over. Here's Sterling's bomb. Now watch the action.
Who says that the bomb's defunct these days? Put a lot of pressure on them. Potter did the right thing, ironed the ball. It would have been a try. Would have been the second to Chris Mortimer.
Well, it must have been knocked on right on the deck. Here's Hasler. Hasler streeting away. Gets around Jack. This is a great run by Hasler. Looks for support to Lamb. And a breakout by the Sydney side leads to a try. And all that came from a little bit of disappointment, I think, from country after missing a try. They held back in defence. Hasler made the break, and Sydney have a useful lead.
Certainly have, and fully deserve it with the individual brilliance of Des Hasler. The guy's fast. He sees the break, and he's away, and leaves Gary Jack for dead. Jack had no chance of that. He could have been selfish, and this is the man, is probably the world's best backer-up of the man in possession of the football, Terry Lamb. A fully deserved try there. Watch the speed. Breaks the tackle. The speed too much for Jack. A confident player just holds on at the right time. He loves doing that.
O'Connor adds the extras, so it's 28-18, a 10-point gap in favour of Sydney. Hasler, that's Folks. Back this way. Last tackle for Sydney, they lead by 10. Langmack. That's Pearce. O'Connor tried to kick it in field. It's picked up, and Langmack scores his second try. Langmack has scored his second try. He was a bit lucky in the end, but they were going forward. The ball was on the ground. It went Sydney's way after being kicked. And Langmack was there to finish it off with his second try.
Good play by City. Langmack started it off, tried to do the run round. Pearce made the break. Good ball. O'Connor knew that he'd nowhere to go. Fortunate there.
Moy, Gordon, Morris. Roach for another steam ahead. Sterling to Cleel. Good run by Cleel here. Stepping and weaving again. He's brushed them off, and the pass went to ground. Gary Jack couldn't hold on to it. He was probably covered in the tackle. But another fine run by Noel Cleal. He's had a great game here for Country today. Look at him stepping and swerving. Lots of power. And Jack couldn't hold it. Pearce. In and out, round about, and still going ahead. Barra throws it inside to Lamb. Here goes Lamb. And away goes Folks. Another pass, please. Barra picks it up, but he knocked it on.
Well, it's touch and go, Jim.
Let's see that knock on. I don't know whether he knocked it on.
I thought he took it on the bounce.
Have a look at it.
Took it on the half volley.
Folks' ball. Watch it. I think he picked it up on the half volley, as you say. Folks, in the thick of it. What's that? 34 tackles Folks has had today. He's done a magnificent defensive job. Penalty.
That was silly play by Roach.
Roach has got a smile on his face, but look at this. A long-range kick for Michael O'Connor. It's got the distance okay, and it's got the accuracy for 2 points. A big kick from Michael O'Connor, and that's full time. Sydney 34, Country 18. So Sydney, after being down by 2 points at half-time, have scored 18 points in the second half. Country didn't score after leading 18-16. 34-18 to Sydney.
Well, City much too good over Country. From there at Newcastle Sports Stadium, we go to Belmore Sports Ground in the Channel 10 NEC big game, where Canterbury Bankstown were to meet Manly Warringah. Something like 14 players were due in this clash to back up after that City-Country match, but there were a couple of withdrawals from the Canterbury Bankstown side. Missing was Steve Folks and also front rower Peter Tunks, and as the players took the field, I think the favouritism had swung to the Manly Sea Eagles.
Welcome to the NEC big game in round 11 of the Winfield Cup between Canterbury Bankstown and Manly Warringah. And today's match comes from the Bulldogs, Belmore Sports Ground. On the 2 occasions they met last season, Manly won the first encounter, but Canterbury took the honours the next time. In the 86 Premiership, only 1 point separates these two very much informed teams. The Canterbury side reads out like this, with stars marking the players that are backing up for their second match in as many days. Potter, Peter Mortimer, Andrew Farrer, Chris Mortimer, Campbell, Hagan, Lamb as the captain, Langmack, Elias for Folks, Gillespie, Sargent for Tunks, Bugden and Dunn. And here's the Manly team now. Gurr, Ronson, Close, Shearer, Blake, Cox, Hasler, Lyons, Cleal the captain, Gibbs, Hardy, Cochrane and Daly. Manly has 5 going around for their second time. The referee today is Kevin Roberts. Canterbury running from right to left and into the sun in the first half. It's Gibbs. Ooh, Gibbs got up and played the ball, and he let go with the left, and he caught Sargent just on the cheekbone. Here's Hardy now, after the 22. The clearing kick off the boot of Mitchell Cox. Michael Potter. Campbell. Cochrane and Daly, the chief tacklers. Gillespie. Gives over the top. Hardy underneath. Elias. Manly really going in and hitting in numbers. This is Dunn. Out the back, he took 3 players with him, Dunn. This is Hagan. Lamb. The kick will go over the dead ball line, so out for a 22-place kick to restart. Reserve grade was a thrilling affair, 12 all, and in under 23s, 15-8 to Manly. Breeze coming down the ground in the first half, favouring Manly. We'll get a points assessment on that from Graham in just a moment. This is Bill Hardy. Cox. That's the grubber kick, and it's going down to bounce up for Potter. If anything, it was too good a kick. Campbell. Lyons over the top. Sargent. Lamb. Elias. Got away from a high tackle from Gibbs. Oh, backing him up is the man that does it so well. The best in the game, probably. Terry Lamb. After John Elias was beaten, was able to beat Gibbs, who went for a high tackle on him. Lamb was there, the ever-present Terry Lamb. You'll see it again. Here's Elias, and Lamb was there to go on with the job and score yet another try, brought about by his persistence in backing up.
Terry Lamb started it all when he crossed from the open back to the blind side, fired a pass on to John Elias. He shrugged off a tackle from Ron Gibbs and then beat the fullback with a step off the left foot. Terry Lamb knows exactly where to back up. He does it so easily. He just runs down the centre of the field, waits for the inside pass, and there's the result of it.
Here it is again now from another angle. But when that tackle was missed on Elias, there was obviously going to be a problem to follow, and that problem was spelt L-A-M-B. And Baba picks up another try. And here he is, 24 years of age, Dally M Player of the Year in '83, and having a superb season. In front, he picks up the extras and sends his Canterbury Bulldogs to a 6-0 lead in the NEC big game, and only 4 minutes of time gone. Shearer. Peter Mortimer has Potter with him. Oh, big dummy, and he sold them the dummy too, and a good run by Peter Mortimer to within 5 metres of the halfway as the crowd applauds. Lamb, Hagan, Dunn. This is Paul Dunn trying to offload, but
just looking at the way Paul Dunn's running, I'd say he's done Canterbury a favour by playing today. He's won about 1.5 legs, I'd reckon.
Crowd of around, I suppose, 11,000. Beautiful day. But, not the crowd that one would have thought to see a match between Canterbury and Manly that could well be described as a grand final dress rehearsal. Cox. There's a deliberate play. Shearer's going after it. I saw them do this in the State of Origin. He's going to score. What a magnificent kick by Mitchell Cox. Shearer got deep so that when Cox actually kicked the ball, Shearer was going one way at 100 miles an hour and Canterbury was standing still. Here's Shearer coming down on the left of your screen almost. He had a mile start on Canterbury. Potter was up marking the fullback on the blind side, and Dale Shearer scores the try, but it was a magic kick from Mitchell Cox.
This is one of those rare moments in rugby league that you treasure when you see it. Cox saw the Canterbury defence standing up, put through the kick into the in goal, and that was a great chase by Shearer. He showed plenty of pace to come up with a try.
Dale Shearer, just 20 years of age. What a rugby league future he's got. As I said earlier, bound to be somewhere in that maroon side for the State of Origin. Al Cochran, the kicker, a chance to pull level at 6-all. Cogran's kick a little bit wide off the inside edge of the boot, but still picking up the 2 points, and Canterbury and Manly are locked together at 6 points all, 17 minutes gone. Chris Mortimer. Gurr. Bronson. Hasler. Gibbs. Oh. Gillespie the tackler. Here's the tackle of Gillespie on Gibbs. Gibbs comes out of it minus his headgear. And the touch judge came scurrying in. See what the result of this one is. It's going to be a Manly penalty. Out the back for Lions. Now to Cox. Put down. Canterbury's ball. Elias. Penalty to Canterbury. Stealing the ball against Gibbs. Chris Mortimer. Hagan. Farrow. Bugden. Lamb. Sargent. 5 gone. It wouldn't surprise if Canterbury went for the drop goal. Back to Michael Hagan. Kick going over the dead ball line.
Well, once again, the tactic by Canterbury is to try to drop the ball in goal. The tactic's a good one, but Michael Hagan just put too much beef on the ball this time and it went dead.
Lions. Hasler. Cleal. Cox. And that's going to find touchdown on the 22. So another scrum will form. Canterbury will have the feed. No change to the score. Canterbury and Manly locked together at 6 points all. 3-1 the scrums to Canterbury, 3-2 the penalties to Manly, and a penalty to Canterbury. It's against the marker, Des Hasler. Sergeant. Lamb. Gillespie. Manly's ball. Lions to play it. Gibbs. Cleal. Sideline comment. Here's Graham.
Well, naturally, with so many players in this Canterbury side backing up after yesterday's game, the city-country clash, obviously there's not the same sort of intensity that they had against the Parramatta side. But too many times when the ball has been taken up by the Canterbury side, that the man in possession has been left alone. We saw Gillespie there with very little support, and also Paul Dunn on occasions has hit the line turn and found nobody there.
Graham, it's one of those games when the ball's not going more than 2 or 3 passes. Neither side seems willing at the moment to open it up.
Yes, I'm a bit surprised. If I was Manly, I'd be very keen to open it up, especially with this Canterbury pack, so many of them backing up after yesterday's match. Of course, Bobby Fulton's got it in their minds, a big kicking game, and at this stage his tactics are fairly close to the mark. I think you'll certainly see him open the game up in the second half.
Dunn. It was a good tackle on Dunn. I'm just trying to pick up who it was. It was Bill Hardy. Like a human mountain, Hardy, with the pads that he's wearing. He's a big man as it is, but with the pads, the big number 11. He stands over plenty of ground. This is Elias. Casts a big shadow, Bill. Hagan, Lamb. Out the back for Hagan. Hagan puts up the kick. Hardy takes it for Manly. Langmack, the tackler. Here's the replay of Bill Hardy taking the up and under. I don't think Bill knew that he was being chased so closely by Paul Langmack. All of a sudden he was there, and next minute he wasn't. So Manly on the first tackle.
Well, that's a bonus for Canterbury. They had the ball from a penalty, started to put pressure on, and then lost it on the 4th. Manly have only been able to hold it for 2, and they've turned it back to the Bulldogs. You can't do that against a good side like this.
He's done now. 5 metres out from the line. Elias. Well, he wasn't tackled. So Roberts said, that's fine, you can pass from the ground. Terry Lamb. And now a penalty goes to Canterbury against Des Hasler. The NEC replay of the incident that brought the penalty. And there's why he gave the penalty against Des Hasler. So it's almost a gift, 2 points for the home team. Hasler not impressed. He's not talking to the referee, let me tell you. Roberts was at a completely different angle.
That little shot was an indication, but of a far more confident Des Hasler. There's no way that he'd have opened his mouth like that a couple of years ago.
Terry Lamb. Easy one for him. And so the scoreline, Canterbury 8, Manly 6. You're watching the NEC big game. Hasler. Cleal. Yes! Cliffy Lyons, Potter's chasing and makes a try-saving tackle. 2 metres from the Canterbury line. And a penalty to Manly against Michael Potter. It was a good pass by Cleal. He got out from dummy half. Maybe right there is a sign of things to come. And Lyons was beautifully tackled by Potter. And then the referee has penalised Potter for failing to release the man. So here's the Manly tap about to be taken.
It was a fairly senseless penalty by Canterbury. Their defence was set. It was the 5th tackle on Manly. Canterbury only had 1 to make to get the ball back, but now, with just a few minutes to go before half-time, Manly have got the opportunity with 6 tackles.
Cleal. Leaning over the line almost and forced back. Manly deep and wide. Lyons, a long pass, and Blake it is inside to Gibbs. Gibbs, can he get rid of the ball? Yes, Blake was over the line but forced back. Played by Blake. It's Cochrane away from Dunn across to Cleal. Cleal is 10 metres out from the line. Cross for Hasler, now for Cox. Long pass out for Shearer. Campbell left his wing to make the tackle. That's 5 gone now against the Eagles. Here comes the kick. Cox, a high ball, a very good kick by Cox, and up they go above the pack, and Campbell comes down with it for Canterbury. Potter is injured for Canterbury, but that was the high-flying action here at Belmore. Lamb. Ronson. And there's the siren for the end of the first 40 minutes. An absorbing encounter. 8-6 in favour of Canterbury. Here's Graham Hughes.
Well, pretty much as predicted. I think we're seeing a clash between 2 pretty tired sets of forwards. In this next 40 minutes, I'll be looking for somewhat of a battle between the 2 back lines because of these forwards being so tired. I think Mitchell Cox holds the key. A big kicking performance from him in the first half. I think in the next half, I'll be looking for Cox to feed the likes of Chris Close, Dale Shearer and Phil Blake a whole lot more. Yes, Stuart Davis in 15 is out there on the wing replacing Marty Gurr. Dale Shearer is shifting back into the fullback position, and at this stage unconfirmed, but David Ronson or Phil Blake will be alternating in that extra centres position. In a game that was so tight, as I said just prior to the break, I'll be expecting Manly to start to open this game up a little bit more, try and run these Canterbury forwards around. But look for Canterbury, they'll rely heavily on a big kicking game in this second half, and I wouldn't be surprised the way they normally do, set themselves for early points via a field goal once down in Manly's territory.
Chris Mortimer. Shearer, who scored that try in the first half for Manly off a set move from winning a scrum. And Cox it was who put a delightful kick through, a long kick, and Shearer was first there. As the tackle counts, well, they cancel each other out, don't they, with Dunn 21 and Lyons 19 topping the respective camps. Shearer. Cox. So a scrum will go down as the ball was propelled forward. Ball. Shearer. Hasler. Cox. Cuts out clear. Long ball to Close. Clear from dummy half. He did it in the latter part of the first half, a run from dummy half. I said at the time it might be the sign of things to come. A bit more dummy half running. Lofted pass by Lyons. The ball has gone to ground and Canterbury come up with it. It seemed a rather loose pass to be throwing, but...
Well, it was very lucky, really, for Manly that Sandy Campbell decided to go in and elected for a ball and all tackle because the ball was sitting up there to be intercepted.
Dunn. Potter. Ooh. Into the waiting shoulder of Phil Daly. Lamb. Inside. Lost the ball. Gibbs has it. Cleo. Swanson. Davis. Hardy. Cleo. Three Canterbury players combining to put the big fellow down. Hasler. Cox. Cochrane. Cox. Farah takes the bomb and the tackle of Dale Shearer. And you see replay.
I don't know that Manly used up their 6 tackles as best they could then. I think the tactics that are going to win them this game are to use their big men, the likes of Bill Hardy and Phil Daly up the middle on the first and the second rucks. Then say on the third, Noel Cleal just on the fringe. And that's the time to get the ball out wide on the 4th and 5th to Chris Close. 3 and 4 passes wide. Those are the tactics that are going to worry Canterbury.
Blake. Swanson. Hasler. Away from Elias, away from Chris Mortimer, taken by Sandy Campbell. Lyons. Hardy. Down the legs was Sargent. Daly. 5 gone for the Eagles. Cox. Pulled the kick back into a little opening and gave the ball to a Canterbury player. Mortimer in some pain over there. There's the NEC replay of Cox. He's been mixing his game up perfectly today, Mitchell Cox. There's Lamb. Back to Gillespie. And the referee has ruled that it went forward from Lamb to Gillespie. That's all I can fathom from the ruling. The touch judge has come in to make a report about the Manly number 10. That's Ron Gibbs. You spot anything, Graham?
Well, I think the touch judge may have been picking Ron Gibbs up. Coming in late over the top, it was touch and go, whether you call it a high tackle or not, Ray. But you've got to remember that this man coming off now has been called over and spoken to on 3 occasions, and quite possibly could have been spoken to on say 2 or 3 others.
Well, he's got 10 minutes in the sin bin. And still it goes on. See if we can pick up this incident involving Gibbs. It hasn't got the length. Shearer. No change to the half-time score, 8-6 Canterbury. Shearer. Hardy. Penalty to Manly. It's against the Canterbury marker, Sargent. Sideline comment as Manly prepare to take the tap.
Well, it's something that we said last week. Here they come up with a mistake, Manly, purely and simply because I think teams continue to play to Canterbury's strength. They keep on turning the ball back inside or taking the ball straight up the middle of the rucks. Canterbury renowned for their forward depth. I know they've somewhat tired after backing up from yesterday from that City Country clash. But Mitchell Cox is the key. I said it prior to half-time. He's renowned from his rugby union days for possessing a very, very long pass. And that's what Manly should be looking for. A cutout situation should be picking up Dale Shearer and Chris Close storming up out wide.
Done! Yes, play on! That's Hagan! Straight to Ronson for Manly. Davis. Close.
Close has decided if the ball's not going to come to him, he's going to go and get it.
Cleo. Cleo. It's strong running by Close and Cleo. Back to back. Hasler, Cox. Now it's Lyons. Through Ronson to Shearer.
That's where Manly can do damage. The last thing the opposition wants to see is Daly bring the ball up, Hardy bring the ball up, and then Cleal on the fringe of the ruck bringing up, and finally Close getting it 3 and 4 out. That'd have to damage any opposition.
Once Potter. Great take by Michael Potter. Potter injured for Canterbury. 2 other Canterbury players injured. In fact, Dunn, Sargent, he's being brought off. And let's go to Graham for the changes.
Well, coming on for Canterbury for Mark Sargent in 24 will be Peter Johnston, who was fresh back from England after a stint over there and noticed to be in great form in the reserve grade fixture. Only just back this week.
What's the story on young Sargent, Graham?
Well, it's not a nice way to make a debut. At this stage, they're testing him for possible medial ligament damage.
Hasler draws the last line. Davis has scored. Manly has hit the front. 10 points to 8. So it was dashing Des Hasler who decided to run wide. He absolutely obligated the wing 3/4 for Canterbury. He drew and committed the winger, and then he left space for Davis to work in.
Yes, put this try down purely to the pace of Hasler. He was able to clear the half, the lock and the centre and gave the overlap to Davis. Davis never had a lot of sideline to work with, but what he had, he made the most of. You can see it here, Hasler heading wide, timed his pass to perfection, and Davis does the rest.
22 minutes of time to go. There she goes. Looks good. He's got it from the sideline. Oh, mighty Malcolm. Manly 12, Canterbury 8. Daly. Gillespie underneath him. Cox tried to get the kick in. Gillespie cleans it up for Canterbury. Paul Dunn can hardly lift himself off the ground. There's Elias! Johnston. Chris Mortimer. Michael Potter. Four tackles gone for the Bulldogs. Lamb with the up and under. It's a good kick. And it's over the dead ball line. Coming out to the 22 for the restart. Off the boot of Terry Lamb. This was the replay, the NEC replay of the action. Manly have won 2 scrums against the feed.
That makes the third, and that's a great position to come up with a scrum against the feed. You've got the opposition in their own quarter. Both sets of players are extremely tired.
Cliff Lyons within 15 metres of the line. Now to Shearer. Long cut-out pass to Ronson. And held there by Chris Mortimer. Cleo. Yes! Oh, what power! What strength in this man they call Crusher Cleo. He got back as if to say, give me that football on the next play and I am going to score a try. And that's about all he said and all he did. And there wasn't anything in the world that was going to stop Noel Cleo from reaching this try line. He had convinced himself that he was going to score.
This is a great captain's knock by Noel Cleo. He's decided to put this game beyond doubt. He beat tackle over tackle and just charged over between the uprights.
Noel Cleo, at 27 years of age, still one of the game's most devastating runners, scores the try that has probably put the seal on this one. Cochrane can make it 18 points to 8. That he does. And the Manly Sea Eagles lead by 18 points to 8 with about 12 minutes of time to go. Sideline comment, here's Graham.
Well, I think you've got to hand it to Manly coach Bob Fulton. I was fairly convinced that in the first, say, 10 to 15 minutes of the second half that Manly might have started to spread the ball a whole lot more, tried to make this Canterbury forward pack even somewhat tired to try and run them around, but he persisted with taking the ball up the middle of the rucks. They came up with some errors a little while ago, and it looked as though the game might have been turning back to Canterbury, but Noel Cleo and those sorts of guys have come into their own. Full credit to Bobby Fulton.
Play by Ronson, good tackle by Farah. Cox. Tackle's gone. What will Cox do with it this time? Nothing. Cochrane. Grubber kick ahead. Ball loose on the ground. Tuned up there by Canterbury Bankstown. But a knock-on has taken place. Close! Yes! Oh, the two big men have put it together back to back. Cleo a couple of minutes ago, and Close has fired off the second barrel. Des Hasler scampered across the paddock. He dummied once, he dummied twice, and then Close carried Paul Langmack over. That was a piggyback try.
When Close elects to go, he's almost unstoppable this close to the line. He charged onto a pass, he hit defence, but there's no way that they were going to hold him.
So Paul Langmack actually rides him across the line, but big Chris Close, he too at 27 years of age, goes in for another Manly try. Of course, the problem being with matches played the day after City Country is you seem to have an inconclusive result no matter which way it goes. It just seems to be a shame that that's the way it has to be. I Wish there were a solution. The kick has been hooked by Cochrane. No goal, but they don't really need them anymore. They're leading by 22 points to 8. Manly over Canterbury. There's the kick for Cox. An astute game from Cox today. Potter. Whoops-a-daisy. It's classified as a dangerous tackle. Now Cleal is being called out as captain. It was Ronson and Hasler, and Gibbs is being called over. Well, I think Gibbs must have said something to the referee. It's obviously something to do with back chatting. Farah. Gillespie. Hagen. Just wondering how close to an absolute meltdown is the patience of Kevin Roberts in this match today. Penalty to Canterbury against the Manly players for not getting off the tackle player. It's gone over the touch-in goal line. Off the penalty. A drop kick restart. That must go the 10 metres. Yes, with just that question mark on just how much patience Roberts has to show, I was going to make the comment that he's given an exhibition here today that I think has been indicative of the #1 referee in this city. And I don't mean that to be as an offence to his main challenger at the moment, Mick Stone. Bugden. There's the siren, it's all over. It's all over for Canterbury, today anyway. Manly 22, Canterbury Bankstown 8. And what a second half of football the Eagles laid on. 22 for Manly. Shearer, Davis, Cleal, close. Tries. Cochrane 3 goals. Lamb for Canterbury the try, and he kicked 2 goals. Let's have a look at the other results now. Saints 27, Norths 15, before 15,000 people at North Sydney Oval. Eastern Suburbs 16, Balmain 6, Penrith 22, Illawarra 18, West 35, Cronulla 18, Manly 22, Canterbury 8, and South 13, Parramatta 6.
A pumped-up South scored the only try of the match after 11 minutes when Phil Gould did some clever work before Craig Coleman scampered over near the posts. And weren't they pleased about it? Graham Atkins and Neil Baker exchanged goals for both sides, and South led 8-6 at the break. Parramatta looked certain to take the lead early in the second half when Peter Sterling kicked ahead. Neil Baker missed the ball and Steve Vella was into the clear and heading for the try line. But Jason Moon and Michael Pobji got to him, and Ella lost the ball and the try with Mick Stone right on the spot. But Neil Baker protecting a hamstring tear with a wetsuit put South further ahead with a towering field goal. South should have scored their second try when Craig Coleman, out to prove a point to City selectors, made a big break downfield. But his pass to Michael Pobji was forward. Luckily, it didn't matter as Baker sealed it with his trusty right boot, and South succeeded in proving a few people wrong at Redfern, winning 13 points to 6.
At the Parramatta Stadium, Horry Hastings and Gary Jack had a flare-up 9 minutes in, which resulted in Jack being sin-binned for 5 minutes. The Roosters scored the first try of the match at the 22-minute mark after Hugh McGann busted the Balmain line before sending Gary Worth away for the try. 10 minutes into the second half, Hugh McGann again starts a raid before unloading to Tessman, who in turn finds Robert Simpkins, who runs away to score. 15 minutes later, Tony Melrose seals the match. The Roosters defeat Balmain 16-6, completing a great week for the club with 3 straight wins.
In front of 15,000 fans at North Sydney Oval, Les Kiss pressed his claims for Queensland State of Origin selection with 2 slashing tries. St George's first try followed a big upfield break by Walford. Young slipped the final pass and Fafita does the right thing to help St George go ahead 8-6. But another fine effort by Kiss put the Bears back in front, with the winger converting after a sizzling run down the touchline. St George hit straight back with a try to Johnston to go off 12-all at the break. Midway through the second half, Young slipped a fantastic pass to Walford, who bolted home. Johnston was over soon after for his second try and a badly needed 27-15 victory.
At Penrith Park, Ryan Hetherington gave Illawarra a great start after a Greg Alexander penalty had put Penrith in the lead after 7 minutes. But when Hetherington crossed, it was 4-2 to the Steelers. When young 5'8" Kissel chipped and regathered, he found the support of Jeff Hardy and in turn Steve Larder, who crossed for a great Steelers try, and when Kelly converted, it was 12-2 to the Steelers at half-time. But Darryl Broman's try began the Penrith fight back in the second half, and when local hero Greg Alexander crossed in the last minute, the Panthers got home in a thriller in the mountains by 22 points to 18. And at Lidcombe Oval, the first half belonged to the Magpies. Eden Naden scored the first of the 3 Western Suburbs tries in the first half as they took the Cronulla Sharks by storm. Ellison Sheehan added the others as Jack Gibson was left to ponder, the Sharks flagging fortunes in 86 as West bounced to an 18-2 lead. But Craig Diamond brought some respectability to the Sharks scoreline just before half-time, crossing for a late try to make it 18-8 to the Magpies. However, their comeback was to be short-lived as the Magpies secured their 4th win of the season with a well-deserved 35-18 victory.
The Premiership table now has Manly and Souths joint leaders on 18, Parramatta 16, Canterbury 15, and then just in the 5 on 12 are Penrith, Balmain and St George, East and Norths on 10, West 9, Illawarra, Cronulla 8 and Canberra are bringing up the rear on 6. Next weekend it's Balmain Norths, Cronulla Penrith, Illawarra plays Eastern Suburbs, the Dragons versus the Bulldogs, Manly plays Souths, and Parramatta takes on Canberra, with Western Suburbs having the bye. Well, that's all we've got for you this week in This Week of Rugby League, brought to you and proudly brought to you by Winfield. I hope you've enjoyed the program, and we'll see you again when next we go round on This Week of Rugby League.